New videos every day. Life, wisdom.
I'm Psyche Truth correspondent Karina Rachel. Today on the Truth Talks, we are busting the biggest weight loss myths and giving you the information that you really need to lose weight and keep it off. I want to start by asking you what diets or diet plans or diet products you have tried and if they worked or not. I'm talking today with a holistic nutritionist and author based in Austin, Texas. Her name is Beth McCall Whitley, and she's going to discuss not only her personal journey with health and nutrition, but what every person needs to know about weight loss myths. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So I think maybe one of the craziest things we see out there in the weight loss industry is all of these diet pills, weight loss products, weight loss programs. Are those an effective way to lose weight?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's all marketing. And people are looking for that quick fix. They're looking for that magic pill, and they will be looking forever because it just does not exist. I mean, you really have to take some responsibility on yourself, and it might temporarily work, but inevitably those people gain it back, and it's very unhealthy. Those products most often contain many unhealthy ingredients, just not good for you. A lot of them are just speed, getting you all hyped up. So many chemicals, a lot of fake food, preservatives, things like that, just not real food.
Right. And so when people get on these programs where they get a bunch of prepackaged meals, or maybe there's different point systems applied to different foods and all these things, you think maybe that's not really ineffective?
No, I don't think it is. Anything like that is just going to be very unhealthy and toxic. And in fact, I've had many patients who have tried those and their arthritis would flare up. They're very inflammatory because they just have so many toxic things in them, and they don't have any nutrition, really. There's no nutrients, so yeah, it's not a good idea at all.
Right. So if you can maybe offer an alternative to the diet pills and diet programs that are out there, what would you recommend that people actually try?
I would recommend that people actually try eating real healthy food and staying away from the junk food. They can certainly eliminate their chips and their candy and things like that, and eat more vegetables and fruits and meats, fish, the healthy fats, avocados, things like that. It's important to have healthy fats in our system, where for a long time, there's fat-free was huge, and even still is to some degree. And so cookies that are fat-free, people think they can eat the whole pack of cookies because they don't have any fat, but they're filled with sugar, which is still contributing to the weight problem. And and really healthy fats are important to have a certain degree of satisfaction. Right. You won't be constantly craving those carbs if you have the right amount of healthy fat in your body.
Right. So we have busted the myth of diet pills and diet programs, and offering the solution of just eat real foods, staying away from the processed foods, the junk foods. Don't look for a quick fix pill that's going to save you from actually changing your diet. Okay, so I think one of the other big maybe weight loss myths out there is this prevalence of these different extreme diets. And you will see the grapefruit diet or the this diet or the cabbage soup diet. These really extreme diets that cause someone to completely change the way they're eating, or maybe eat all one food or something. Is that an effective way to lose weight?
Again, typically not. I mean, initially people might see some weight loss at the beginning, but they're going to gain it back when they start eating normally again. And nobody can or should be eating grapefruits, and that's all for the rest of their life. It's just not possible or desirable. So anything too that is that extreme, I just don't advocate anything extreme like that. I mean, our bodies need a variety of nutrients, and if you're just eating grapefruits for a month, your body's not getting what it needs. And frequently when people do those kind of extreme diets, their bodies start to, get panicked and hold on to fat because not enough calories are coming in. And it's like, okay, I'm being starved, so I'm going to hold on to the fat that is there.
Very interesting. So in terms of taking a really extreme diet, for instance, you maybe recommend, back to the idea of eating real foods, eating a variety of foods. Are there any other recommendations that you would give?
I would say, exercise is important too, an important factor in any weight loss program. I mean, it has to be a lifestyle change. It's not going to happen overnight. That's another thing people need to know. So often people want to lose weight by their wedding next week, and it's just not realistic. So, there's just no quick fix. There's no healthy way to do that, And I often think I once heard Oprah say, she's tried every diet, every pill there is, and they don't work. And certainly, if there was a magic pill or magic diet, she could have bought it. Right. It just doesn't work.
And maybe really quickly we can just touch on cleansing and detox, because generally I think of cleansing and detox as something healthy, and I know a lot of people actually turn to cleansing or detox to lose weight. What are kind of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and people have a lot of different perceptions about what cleansing and detoxification is, and there are a lot of programs that will have you fast or just drink juice or have laxatives, things like that. And that's not really the kind that I would recommend, especially, if people have certain health challenges and they're just juicing. If they have, high sugar levels, for example, that's going to be really unhealthy for them. So I just recommend as cleansing and detoxification, again, is just eating real food. And the program that I generally recommend to my patients and clients here at the clinic are, they eat real food. We do use a functional medicine shake, so to speak, with that's a healthier kind of shake for it. But we don't deprive them. They're not starving. We don't give laxatives or anything like that. They're just eating real food. We take out a lot of the food allergens. We take out caffeine and dairy and gluten, and just really clean up their diet. And they're just eating healthy vegetables and fruit and meats and fish. And that in itself is enough to detoxify, just cleaning up your diet. And what's important to know about cleansing and detoxification is once that process is started, people often feel worse before they feel better as their bodies are detoxifying. For example, when people give up coffee and they have that caffeine headache, it's similar. People have different symptoms. They might break out. They feel it's kind of flu-like. There's a lot of detox symptoms that can last anywhere from a couple of days to a week or so. But I generally recommend people stick with it because their body is just getting rid of all those toxins, and it's a good thing.
Right. So maybe another weight loss myth that we can bust is that if you're on a diet or you're losing weight, you're going to be starving all the time. Is that true?
No, that is not true. It is not true that you need to be starving. If you're eating the right kinds of foods, there's no reason to deprive yourself. We don't really want people to be hungry in our program. We want people to be eating the healthy foods. And if you're eating the healthy foods, you don't really have to, worry about that. First of all, you're not going to be hungry. A lot of people are hungry because they're having those cravings. They're feeding that sugar is very addictive, and carbohydrates are very addictive. And so the more of those they have, the more they're having those cravings. And, when they start eating healthy and real food and getting a good amount of healthy fat in their diet, those cravings stop.
What about counting calories? That's another big thing that we hear about in weight loss. Is that an effective way to lose weight or not so much?
Not so much. I don't recommend people count calories really, and it's not necessary again if you're eating the right foods. What I like to focus on would be nutrient density. Eat foods that have nutrients, your vegetables, especially your fruits, your meats. People get into calorie counting so they can have this piece of cake, I can have this, and just stay away from that stuff, and you don't need to count calories because they're empty calories. You want to be feeding your body nutrients and eating nutrient-dense foods and not giving it empty calories. So there's really no need to count calories.
Right. Let's go back to this idea of empty calories, because that's something that I have discussed before in our different videos. The idea that among these processed foods, any kind of junk food or fast food, you're getting a huge amount of calories and little or no nutrition.
Exactly.
And that's basically what's meant by empty calorie, right?
It is. That's what's meant by empty calories. Yeah, you're getting a lot of, calories that are just going to go right around your middle section more than likely, and not give you any health benefits whatsoever. So you would be so much better off having some nutrient-dense foods that are actually going to feed your body what it needs to function properly.
Right. And those foods are going to actually be filling you up, leaving you satisfied, so that you're not feeling hungry.
Exactly. And a lot of people think, like I said earlier, they need to be fat-free and not, you need to have a good amount of fats for proper nerve function and just a whole bunch of other bodily functions, and it keeps you satisfied so that you're just not having those cravings.
Right. And you're just eating good fats with health benefits rather than processed oils and really unhealthy fats or fried foods.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about people who are just religious about keeping track of their weight on the scale, maybe even writing down their weight on a day-to-day basis, and like they wake up every morning and look at the scale?
Yeah.
What about that?
I would say that's, it's okay to look at the scale sometimes, but that's not really a good indicator of how healthy you are. A better indicator would be a body fat analysis. Muscle and fat, and we can show these examples here.
Oh yeah, so maybe you can tell us what we have going on here.
Yeah, well this is 5 pounds of fat. Okay. And then what you're holding would be 5 pounds of muscle. And so you can see the difference of, so if you're on a scale, it's not very indicative of how healthy you are, really. More muscle is healthier than more fat, obviously.
Right.
So we want more muscle and less fat. But the scale's not going to tell you that. The scale's just going to give you weight. Now, some scales now they do make that do a fairly accurate body fat count. So, if they could do that, that would be a better indicator. But in order to get the muscle, you have to exercise. I mean, this doesn't just happen. It's really critical that people exercise to lose weight and be healthy. So, and to build that muscle. And so the scale, muscle weighs a little more and it's more compact, as you can see. I usually tell people to gauge how, their clothes are fitting, how they're feeling, if they're losing inches, things like that, rather than the number on the scale.
Right. And also, as we, just kind of demonstrated here, fat takes up more space than muscle.
Absolutely.
As well. So even though the muscle weighs more than fat, if you're just going by what you see on the scale, it's not going to be indicative of maybe you actually are gaining more muscle and burning more fat, but your weight is actually going up on the scale.
Yes, exactly. So that's why I like to have people do a body fat analysis, to see how much muscle they have, because the more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism is going to be, the more calories you're going to be burning while you're resting even, and the healthier you're going to be. So, and then you don't, you're just like a fat burning machine all the time if you have muscle. And the only way to do that is exercise and, not just cardio, not just walking, you need to incorporate some weight routines into your workout. Heavier weights with fewer repetitions are what's going to build muscle. So that's important for people to know, to have that balance.
Right. Definitely. Maybe we can go into more detail in a future video about exercise. So I think that's maybe all the time we have for this video, but let's just do a quick recap. The myths that we busted here were diet pills, diet products like Slim Fast or whatever that basically are saying, continue eating the way you're eating, but take this product and you'll lose weight.
Right. Waste of money.
Waste of money. And then doing a really extreme diet like a cabbage soup diet or something like that, with the alternative solution being just eat real foods.
Exactly.
And have a lot of variety in your diet. Counting calories, we said, is actually not effective.
Right, yes, because you could be, counting, going and have French fries and Coke and having your calorie allotment for the day, but that's, you're going to be really unhealthy and have, fat.
Right. And one of my favorite things that I see all the time is the little 100 calorie snacks. And so here's your chocolate chip cookies or whatever, but it's just 100 calories and it has this message like it's healthy for you.
Exactly.
When really and truly you're maybe focusing so much on counting these calories, but the foods that you're eating are still contributing to weight gain.
Exactly. Because it's still spiking your blood sugar, it's empty calories, and it's causing more cravings for sugar.
Right, exactly. And then the last two lies were that if you're losing weight, you have to be hungry all the time.
Right.
We said that that's not true. You should be able to satisfy your hunger and your food cravings and everything like that with a good, proper diet. And then also to be relying on a scale all the time as an indicator.
Right. And it is not a good indicator.
Okay.
It is an indicator. You can, if people really want to do that, they can, but it would be better to know what their body fat percentage is.
Okay. Well, maybe we can get to the rest of these weight loss myths in a future video. Thank you so much for joining me. If you'd like to learn more, I highly recommend that you pick up Beth's book. It's called Essential Nourishment. You can find a link in the description of this video where you can purchase this book. And she offers not only details of her personal experience, but also some really great recommendations of which foods to eat, the different health benefits of different foods, and how you can avoid some of the more toxic foods that are just going to lead to weight gain. So I want to thank you for watching this video. Please leave your comment letting us know what kind of weight loss supplements or things like that you have tried, if they worked for you or not. Please be sure to subscribe to Psyche Truth so you can see our future videos where we are going to bust even more weight loss myths. Be sure to leave your comment, leave your questions and topic requests, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.